Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. It is a quiet night here in mainland China. I thought I'd get together with some of you all and do another live stream. Been a wonderful week for me. Crazy week for just about everyone else, I think. I have a lot to talk about today. I am wearing this shirt for a reason, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I need to give a shout out to other people in this live stream, and I'm going to try something a little bit different than I normally do. So hang in there with me again. As always, I am streaming from mainland China, so of course, if the stream does cut out, I apologize. I will try to come back and do a part two. That's typically how it works. Sometimes I get lucky and I can go for a couple of hours, but we'll see how we do tonight. Looks like the latency's not too bad. It might be a little bit jumpy here and there, and it looks like it's stopping a little bit here and there, unfortunately. But that's what I get. Hang in there with me. I know at least the audio is good. That's the most important thing. I'll try and figure out why the latency is kind of bad. I don't understand that. And let me try one thing here. All right. No, that's not going to do it. I don't understand why that happens. All right. Well, at least the audio is good. And you can get some things. It's. I've been thinking about doing some kind of a simulcast podcast thing, and the guys over at, of course, China have kind of persuaded me to look into this a little bit and put these live streams out on, I don't know, Apple Podcasts or something. I don't know if anyone will actually listen to it, but that doesn't matter. It's all good fun right there. So if you're out there, say hello to me. As always, my live streams are brought to you by fcustom.com, which you can get customized jerseys for baseball, basketball, and football. I'm wearing mine right now for a specific reason tonight. As you can see, it's customized in my LA Dodger script, and I got Rojo on the back. Fully customized. Enter the hit the link below and enter the coupon code WalkaboutRojo for an additional 10% off your purchase. They make wonderful gifts, and you can support the channel and get a nice jersey while you're at it. Okay, so I want to talk about something that happened this morning. And some of you might know what happened. Some of you might not know, but I have to talk about it, and that is the passing of Tommy Lasorda. I was surprised. This hit me hard. I mean, he was in his 90s. We all kind of knew that this was going to happen eventually. But, this guy was a big part of my childhood. And that's why I'm wearing my Dodger shirt in honor of him. I couldn't find my baseball hat. I think I left it in my car. But I grew up in Southern California, and all throughout my childhood, my family had season tickets to the LA Dodgers. I mean, we were closer to the Angels, I guess, but my family always growing up in LA, and of course my father being a Dodger fan, I quickly became a Dodger fan. And I remember going to the '88 World Series. I remember watching guys like Pedro Guerrero. You know, he was one of my early childhood, baseball, heroes, I guess. And Tommy Lasorda was the manager during this time. And I have so many memories of watching games at Dodger Stadium. We had great seats. They were behind the visitors' dugout on the first base side, just maybe 20 rows up. And, you could see into the Dodger dugout from there, but it was too far. But I remember my father had these binoculars, and he would let me use his binoculars a lot. But my father, I posted this on my Facebook page. My father made a comment saying that Tommy Lasorda was a very religious man because every other word out of his mouth was Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Yes, he was but he was passionate. And I remember that passion. I remember, as a child playing Little League and then going to see the Dodgers play at this giant stadium, how much of an influence that had on my childhood and continues to have today. I am the biggest Dodger fan you can imagine. But more than the Dodgers, I am a big baseball fan. And Tommy Lasorda was a big part of that. His personality was larger than the Dodgers. It was larger than the city. It was larger than baseball. It was larger than life. And he was a baseball figure. Even if you don't follow baseball, you could probably follow Tommy Lasorda and know who he was. He was an ambassador for the game, but he was also an ambassador for positivity, optimism, hard work, sportsmanship, and generally just competitiveness as well. I mean, there was so much to like about the man, and I got to give it out. Before I came to China, I would go to a lot of games. This is after we had our season tickets, but I would go on my own. I would go to at least a game a week, basically, when they were in town. And I was poor, so I would get the cheap tickets. But I remember one story I'll tell about Tommy. I never met him, of course, but I'm just a fan, just like all the other Dodger fans out there who are mourning his loss. I do recall going to a game, and it was late in the game, and this late you can kind of seat hop. You can kind of get a little closer to the field as the fans start to leave. They kind of relax the security a little bit, and you can get a little bit closer to the field. And I remember I was on the home base or the home team side, and Tommy Lasorda was there. He often sat very close to the field, right next to the Dodger dugout, just to watch the game. I mean, I think there's no bigger baseball fan, no bigger Dodger fan than him. And there was a young man, a little boy. He must have been like 4 or 5 years old, and he was kind of watching the game and playing in front of Tommy. And Tommy just kind of, he's an old man, and he was very slow, but he tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, turn around. Do you know who I am? Oh, here's a baseball." And he signed it. No one was watching. There were no parents around. It's late in the game. There was hardly, I think they were losing. There was hardly anyone in the stands. But he took the time late at night to sign a baseball for a young man who, and I guarantee you that young man will never forget that moment. And that's the type of effect that Tommy Lasorda had on people. And I am a huge baseball fan. Baseball's been a big part of my life growing up. It still is as a fan. And I have to give a shout out to Tommy. So on behalf of all the Dodger fans, even here in Zhongshan, China, I can give a rest in peace to the boss. Thanks, Tommy. Okay, with that being said, I can move on to other things. I do want to give another shout out to someone very important to me, and that is my sergeant. My sergeant that when I was in the service, he was very influential when I was a young man, 20, 21, in my early 20s. He was my first sergeant when I got to South Dakota. His name is Sergeant Castaneda. During the new year, he and his wife became COVID positive. And, Sergeant Castaneda, he wants me to call him Dan, but I won't call him Dan forever. He's Sergeant Castaneda. And that's for me and all the other troops that he was the sergeant for. We've maintained connections through Facebook and other means over the years. He eventually retired as a master sergeant, went to become a teacher in the Chicago area. Over the new year, he and his wife tested positive, and Sergeant Castaneda has been battling other ailments at the time. And so I was really worried. And this morning I was having my breakfast, and I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw that his wife, Jennifer, was in the hospital with COVID and was on oxygen. And it was a post, though. It was a positive post that she had gotten off of the oxygen, and she was on her way to recovery, and hopefully she'll be discharged from the hospital tomorrow. And so my heart and my thoughts go out to Sergeant Castaneda and his wife, Jennifer, who also was very sweet to me on a personal level, not a troop level or a professional level, but a personal level. And I'm very happy to hear that she is doing much better, and hopefully will be going home. They have a beautiful family, a very large family, and yeah, my thoughts are going out to them. I know that doesn't might not mean much to all of you out there as just a English teacher vlogger living in China, but it means a lot to me. So get well soon, Jennifer. And I know that I share a lot of sentiment from a lot of you out there who are struggling with this pandemic and what it's doing to America and the whole world. I haven't forgotten about it. None of us in China have forgotten about it. None of the Chinese people have forgotten about it. Things might be a little bit better here in China with regards to the pandemic, especially compared to other parts of the world. But I guarantee you, as you go about our days, it is on our mind. We are all thinking about it. We're all discussing it. And we all have you in our thoughts. So I needed to say that as well. Jamaican Funk is on. Do you remember Lasorda's cameo in Police Squad? No, I don't. I don't think I saw Police Squad, man. I really don't. The Lasorda had a lot of cameos in a lot of things, but I remember his Slim Fast commercials where he was overweight. He lost a lot of weight, then eventually he gained it back. I also remember his tomato sauce. And I have been to his restaurant in South Pasadena and ate real Italian food. They used to say, Stan Kasten said today in a tribute to him, he said, you know it's a real Italian restaurant if there are 3 pictures on the wall. If you go into an Italian restaurant, there's a picture of the Pope, there's a picture of Frank Sinatra, and there's a picture of Tommy Lasorda. Then you know it's a real Italian restaurant. But Gene, I recall I was watching the Snark Lounge the other day, and he said something about the movie Soul and how you looked like the main character, the Jamie Foxx character, the movie Soul. I just watched Soul tonight for the first time, and I know you're a huge musician. I love jazz. I think jazz is awesome. I'm not a huge fan of jazz, but I definitely appreciate it. But he was right. You definitely look like the guy, man. there's an uncanny relationship resemblance. You're tall and you got the scruff going. And what a great movie, though. What a wonderful movie. It's not just about music. It's about purpose and life. And there's a lot of messages in that movie that I think it was similar to the other Pixar movie that they did, which was Inside Out. These Pixar kind of has done a couple of these now, so I'm impressed by Pixar flicks. They're pretty good. All right, dude. I will find Police Squad. I remember the Naked Gun movies, and I remember that Leslie Nielsen did some work in the first one with O.J. Simpson, of all people, at Dodger Stadium. Even though it was supposed to be the California Angels, everyone knows it was filmed at Dodger Stadium. And it was hard for me to take that away. I mean, Dodger Stadium is the cathedral of baseball, and I've gone there my whole life, and of course I miss it. I haven't been there in years, but I know when you go into Dodgers, and I've been to many baseball stadiums throughout the country, but Dodger Stadium is special, not just because it's my childhood stadium, but I mean, I've gone to Angel Stadium, and it's cool and everything, but when you come into that valley, and the mountain kind of moves behind as you drive through the valley, and it just exposes this huge stadium. I get a rush of excitement, even as a child, even as an adult. There's no better thing, And Dodger Stadium, Tommy said he wanted to be buried under the pitcher's mound of Dodger Stadium. I remember that in an interview once. And he said he wants to be buried underneath the pitcher. He was a pitcher, too, and he played for Brooklyn. And he said he wanted to be buried under the mound at Dodger Stadium, so when some left-handed pitcher is struggling and, and the pressure's on, there'll be a little voice that comes up and says, you can do it, man. You don't give up, kind of thing. And the pitcher will look around and say, who's talking to me? And it will be Tommy. So big props out for the boss. All right, I want to do something a little different today. Oh, wait. Yeah, black middle-aged jazz piano player from Queens, New York. Yeah, there's no resemblance whatsoever, right, Gene? Uh, a fantastic movie, and the music was great. And if you don't know, I mean, Jamie Foxx did the voice for him, but Jamie Foxx himself is an incredible musician. I mean, that guy can sing and play the piano. You know, he could have not been an actor and just done that and been famous. He's also funny as hell. Jamie Foxx, incredible talent. I met Jamie Foxx once, briefly, and this was at the Ritz Carlton Laguna Niguel. He came and stayed the night, and I was working as the night manager there, and you know, he was incredibly nice guy. He came out late at night, and you know, he requested his car, and I don't remember. I think it was a BMW 7 Series or something. But he wanted directions. He was going out for the night, you know, going to late night dinner or drinks or whatever, and he just wanted directions to this place. And so I got to say, okay, go down the street, turn right. Now that jazz, and he had this giant smile, and I'll never forget his smile. These pearly white teeth and just big, huge smile. He's larger than life. When you meet these people that you see on the TV and, you know, these famous people, and you see them and they're standing right in front of you, there's a charisma about them. One of the only other people that ever had that effect on me when I met them personally was Bill Clinton. When I met Bill Clinton, he stayed at a different hotel I was working at. I was also working as the night manager there, and that was during the 2008 primaries. And Hillary Clinton was running against Barack Obama in the Democratic primaries. And Bill Clinton stayed at the hotel overnight, stayed in the presidential suite, of course. And I remember he had the ugliest purple suit I'd ever seen anybody wear. It was so bad. I welcomed him in the night before, said, you know, welcome to the hotel, Mr. President. He shook my hand. He looked me right in the eye. And I was like, wow, this guy, there's something about people who do that. You know, and when you shake his hand, he does the handshake. But it's not just a typical, okay, go down the line handshake. I also did that with Donald Rumsfeld, and it was just, there was nothing there. But Bill Clinton had that. And the next morning, he woke up, you know, Secret Service was like, okay, he's coming downstairs now. So we cleared the lobby, and it was just me and a housekeeper and a couple who were lined up as we do for VIP guests. And he came out, and he remembered everyone's name as he left. He shook us all our hands, said there's just a night that he stayed at the hotel. There was nothing fancy about it. He just needed a bed to sleep in that night. But he remembered everybody's name that he met the night before. It was incredible. The night I also got to deliver bottles of water to him. I will never forget that either. Went up late at night, and he just wanted some bottled water. So, you know, I got some bottled water and, you know, had to get through Secret Service. Went into the room, and he's sitting there at the dining table playing cards with a couple of people. I don't know who they were. Just delivering bottled water. Just a regular guy. It was so cool. But I'll never forget the fact that he remembered everyone's name. He remembered my name. He remembered the housekeeper's name, because we all had to be like cleared to interact with him, you know, because he's a former president. You know, Secret Service had to like clear us all, I guess. So he remembered everybody's name, and he walked away. It was incredible. Very, very charismatic. Jamie Foxx had that same effect when he stayed at the hotel. He remembers people's names no matter who they are, the valet, the bellman, the front desk agent. And he says thank you. When he says thank you to you, he says, thank you, Paul. I mean, people of that stature, when they do things like that, really stand out. And I've got so many stories about that kind of stuff. Okay. All right, enough of that. I want to do something else a little bit different tonight. Normally I tell stories about what's going on in my life, but I have some photos to go with it. Gee, you met Bill, so you know what I'm talking about. That charisma that he has, you know. It's like, you know, oh wow, you know, vote for Hillary. I didn't get a picture with him though, unfortunately. My boss got a picture with him, but I wasn't able to get one. I do remember I did get a picture with the only other politician I got a picture with was John McCain. And meeting John, I actually called him out. It was when John McCain was running for president that same election term, And I actually asked him a very poignant question about the war in Iraq at the time. Mhm. All right, but I want to do something else. Okay, so let's move on. All right. So that's Tommy. Okay, so there's a story behind this photo. This is on New Year's Day. This is a restaurant near my house. In fact, I can see it. I can look down. I can see people eating there right now. It's a barbecue joint, and it's my new favorite Dapaidang barbecue joint. So I went there with Mona after a day of walking around the old town. But take a look at the hat. If you can know what the hat is the Catching Fire Hunger Games hat. I got that hat for free, at the Lionsgate Entertainment Center in Zhuhai. That's a vlog that will be coming out soon. I just grabbed the hat. Nobody here, I mean, the Hunger Games was a popular movie franchise here, but nobody here knows what that I get compliments on this hat all the time, but nobody knows what it's from. So I say the Hunger Games, and they oh. I still don't think they know what it is, but it's my new favorite barbecue joint. Right downstairs, you barbecue right at your table, and you sit in these little plastic chairs on the street in an alleyway. My new favorite spot. So this is the same day. This is what I feel about the year 2020. I got the 411 when I showed this photo. Some of the local expats, the guys have been here for a while, they said, okay, the WTF. It stands for something else, of course, but it's, I guess it's a bar. It's like a failed bar that an expat tried to open at one point. But apparently inside there is, a very comfortable bar. Who knew? I just went by it randomly. Some of the students, I have 1 week left at the college. So the university, my time for the term is done next week. I have 4 more days of teaching, and then I'm off for 6 weeks. I'm very excited. I have been working so hard. I have Sunday off, so I'm excited for that. But, and I'm just going to stay here because my car is in the shop. But I've been taking photos with all of the students, and this is just one of them, at their request. And I had a great time. The students this year, as opposed to different years, the freshmen, I teach all the freshmen, and their English level, their English skills seem to be improving every year. And that includes this year too. The crop of freshmen that I had at the school this year were fantastic. Yeah, there are other outlining students here and there that don't want to do anything but play video games in my class, but I have thousands of students, a couple of them here and there. I can't waste 90% of my time on 10% of the students kind of thing, right? I wish when I first started, man, it was hard to do that, but I do it now. Fantastic crop of freshmen, and they're going to be back hopefully next term. COVID has been, coming back a little bit. It's starting to creep up again, especially in the northern China. There was a positive guy in the news here, some British guy in Dongguan. Fernando kind of made a video talking about that a little bit. It hasn't come here in Zhongshan, but just like for the last year, it hasn't stopped. Everyone still wears a mask everywhere we go. I still have to do the QR code checking everywhere I go. So the systems seem to be in place to catch these things and try to quench it the best they can. They are nipping it in the bud, but people are still kind of worried that it might come back. And I was having a conversation with one of my local friends. He said, okay, Paul, you're done with the term at the end of the week. There's a good possibility they might not come back for the second term. They'll be teaching online. And I said, yeah, that is a possibility. It definitely is. Everyone's aware of that being a possibility. I know a lot of teachers are being asked not to leave the city. I have not been given that direction or told to stay put. But I know the teachers in Dongguan have been asked to do that. I have a friend of mine who works at a middle school here. He says he has been encouraged to stay in the city during the long holiday. That has not been conveyed to me yet. So I think it's a hit or miss depending on which school you're at. Sean Burton. Sean Burton is on. Hello, Sean Burton. How's the Final Cut Pro learning going? Has some good cheap tutorials on it. I think I paid about $10 to $15 for quite a comprehensive guide. I gave up on Final Cut Pro. It's just too complicated. I'm not there yet. So I've just been using iMovie. I've been told that I got like a free trial for Final Cut, so I didn't pay any money for it. Thank God, because I know it's expensive. But the iMovie is going much better. My last couple of vlogs I have edited. I'm editing one right now on Final Cut, or not Final Cut. I'm sorry, on iMovie. It's going to be the walkabout of the Shichi that I did on New Year's Day, and it's going really well. I'm very impressed with the software. I'm very impressed with the M1 Mac. I'm happy that I made the choice, and things are going great. I don't miss Shotcut at this point because I've gotten to the point now where I'm comfortable with the shortcuts and everything for the iMovie, and it seems to be doing the job fine for now. Once I feel comfortable with iMovie, then I can maybe move into the more advanced features of something like Final Cut, but I'm definitely not there yet. Believe it or not, this is my first Meituan. Yes, my very first Meituan. And I've been living in China for 5 years. Everyone gets Meituan. I have refused to get it because whatever. I think Meituan makes you fat. And I like going out to restaurants, but it has been cold. And so Mono hooked up the Meituan, setting it up for me as far as the address and all that stuff. And I love it. Meituan is incredibly convenient and economical. There's all these coupons and everything, and it's actually cheaper to get Meituan delivered to your house than it is actually to go to the restaurant and eat. And much more comfortable. And as busy as I am, and as much as I move around a lot, Meituan has been great because I can order healthy foods and delivered to my door rather than drive to the other side of town, which is the nearest salad place, to get it. They can bring it straight to me. I'm happy about that. What's the next photo here? Oh, here's Mona and I. We're at the Lions Gate Entertainment Center in Zhuhai. I just thought these masks, because you had to wear the face masks, but these masks here, these are for the headsets, the VR headsets that you have to put on. I just, I thought we looked rather evil, so it just made sense. That was cool. Jamaica says, Friday was my last class. I was teaching freshmen 2. Their English levels vary. Looks like I won't be able to leave Zhejiang province over the break. So has that been conveyed to you, Gene, that you're not allowed to leave? I know teachers are being told to stay put. No one has said anything to me. The person I normally deal with at the school, who's kind of the intermediary, she has been called away to work at other parts of the government. And so I haven't had that intermediary with administration. I think they've kind of forgotten about me, to be honest, because I teach, I'm still there, but other than the English department, I don't really connect much with the administration. They might come. Next week is the last week. We'll see if they come to me and say, Paul, don't leave. But we are thinking about making a road trip. We thought about flying to Kunming and then driving in Lijiang. And I still want to do that trip. But I think flying right now might not be the most prudent thing, and Yunnan is kind of far away. So we've been thinking about other alternatives. We talked about going to Hainan. And rather than flying to Hainan, we're thinking of driving. And it's about a day's drive. And we can not be in public areas, but there is one element that we are looking at doing, and that is putting the car on the ferry and taking that across the strait to Hainan Island. It costs like 400 RMB each way around there. It's still cheaper to do that than it would be to fly to Hainan and rent a car with insurance and all that. So this way we won't we don't plan on staying at a beach resort. We want to stay in the mountains. We want to do some camping and hiking and in general exploring the entire islands. That's why we want to do this. We want to stay in our cars so we're not, so we can lessen the effect of the possibility of having our health codes change. So we're talking about doing that instead. If that doesn't work, we'll stay in Guangdong. We'll explore some of the mountains around here. There's lots of things to see. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. The foreign students here told me they can't even leave Lin'an. That's your city, huh? iMovie's fine. That's what yeah, iMovie's great. iMovie's actually, to be honest with you, I think it's more powerful than the Shotcut software that I was using, which I was loving for about a year. But iMovie has been great. There are some things that I'm still kind of getting used to as far as the timelines go, and audio, manipulation. I'm still kind of feeding that as also the transitions, working on that as far as the editing goes. But I'm getting it, and there's some things I can do on iMovie that I can't do on Shotcut, and there's things on Shotcut I can't do on iMovie. So the end of year vlog that I did, half of it was done on Shotcut on my i5 Xiaomi here, just for music timing with transitions and stuff like this, which is much easier to do with that interface than it is to do on iMovie. So I would do a little bit editing here, transfer it over to here, do some more over here, transfer it back, and it was time consuming, but it worked out. I think it worked out just fine. Yeah. Let's go back to here. Okay, so this is the largest VR center in China. This is the Lionsgate Entertainment that we were at. Very interesting place. Highly recommend checking it out. It's not a full day. You can get it done in 3 or 4 hours, but it's worth a visit. It's worth checking out. This is a local mall where I did a speech contest judging, and I was very, very happy to do it. The judging, it was like a regional kind of judging for kids. So you had these little kids that came out. I mean, we're talking like kindergarten, first grade, and they were all dressed up. They were so cute, and they did like a little play in English, and one of them did the tortoise and the hare. It was so adorable, man. But their English was fantastic. Then the primary school students came out, and they showed incredible courage doing it. This is obviously before it all took place, but there was a huge crowd all around this mall watching this contest. And they came out and they gave a speech, and they were, they had practiced a lot, so they would move their hand like this when they're giving a speech, and that was very impressive. Then the middle schoolers came out. Even the high schoolers were great. They obviously had put a lot of work into it. They had PPTs and very, very rehearsed. But the ones that blew me away were the middle schoolers. The middle schoolers had stage presence. They had obviously great English, but they had a well put together presentation. And I am very impressed with the middle schoolers here. So these are the judges, the other judges, all of us English teachers. Yeah. It was great. What's Meituan? Meituan is the food delivery service. I know that in northern China they have another one that I can't remember the name of it, but they have another one that's more popular. Meituan is the guys in the yellow that move around. It's the same thing. Yeah. I did a photo shoot. This picture is interesting because you can see here this mug. That is my Walkabout Rojo mug. I just wanted to put it in there. Yeah. Just some extra stuff that I like to do for fun. Just for fun. I got back into the gym. Feels great. This is my new gym that I'm hoping to share with you guys in a vlog coming up soon. It's great to lift again. But my body at my age, it's not feeling so good anymore. I mean, I'll talk about this. I have a sore wrist, as I like to play badminton on Tuesday nights. My back is a little stiff because it's so cold, and so you get the shivers, so your back gets a little stiff. And in addition to that, my right foot, still hurts. And we think it's bone spurs. And it's been this way for, 8 months now. I've been thinking it was just plantar fasciitis, hoping that it would just go away. It hasn't gone away. So I'm still concerned about my foot. I really hope that I'm going to go see a doctor. As soon as the term ends, I got to go see a foot doctor. If it is bone spurs, hopefully we can do something about it, because I'm the type of guy that cannot have a bad foot. I need to have good feet. So when I walk around, I can only walk around for a few hours before the pain starts to creep in a little bit, and I need to go rest up a little. And now that it's cold, it actually hurts a little bit more. Yeah. Let's see. What do you use for voice recording? I'm using GarageBand at the moment, but I'm sure they're a lot better for narration voiceover. That's towards Jamaica Funk. Jamaica Funk uses GarageBand. I've got it here. I've played with it a little bit, but I actually don't do any voiceover at all. I do recordings on OBS when I do some voiceover work for other things. But for my vlogs, there is no voiceover. It's all native. Yeah. That being said, I'm still trying to do my yoga. I've been doing yoga for 12 years. I love it. You can see I've gained a little bit of weight, but I can still, still do the yoga like everybody, like the best of them. Handstands, still working on the handstands. I'll get there. I'll get back to it. This is a great shot that Mona took of us walking through the old district in Shichi, which is the district I live in. This is maybe a 5-minute walk from my house. And she made it all in black and white. It's going to be a cool vlog. I'm working on editing it right now. But it'll show you the oldest part of Zhongshan. And it was a holiday, so there were a lot of people out walking around. You didn't want to drive anywhere in the city, especially around this neighborhood, because the traffic was so bad. But walking in some of these older neighborhoods with these alleyways and all the little businesses and shops and antique shops and everything was just fantastic. So that was really cool. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it for that. All right. I got 10 people. Again, I'm sorry for the latency. I don't know what's up. I'm going to have to figure this out, because the last live stream did it too, where it would pause and then continue and then pause and then continue and then pause. And it was really annoying. And I think it's doing the same thing again today. But at least my audio is good. Okay, let's do some shameless self-promotion, shall we? All my live streams are brought to you by fcustom.com. Hit the link below and enter the coupon code WalkaboutRojo for an additional 10% off your purchase. If you want to, you can also follow me on Facebook. Here's my Facebook page. You can get updates about what I'm doing, photos as they come out. This is my latest vlog. Of course, you get links to it. The Walkabout Rojo Year in Review. I put a lot of work into this, and every year I do these reviews. I think this one was a really great one, and you got some interesting reflections over the last year. If you want, you can also support me on Patreon. I have 5 Patreons. I make $26 a month. Everyone knows this. Anyone who does support me or any other creator out there is truly the heroes of this community, and we all believe that. And, of course, you can buy me a coffee. All of my vlogs are done while I drink a cup of coffee. Now, lately I've been here in my office, and I've been drinking Japanese drip coffee, which is fantastic. It's really good and much cheaper than a Starbucks. But occasionally I do like to go to Pacific Coffee or I am doing a vlog here on coffee culture. Again, I've done it before. One of the vlogs I'm preparing to do, and I've been researching, is the best coffee shop in Zhongshan, because coffee is blowing up here in China, especially in my town in Zhongshan. So I got a list of things that we're going to look at. It's the must-haves of a good coffee shop. Number one, good coffee. But even that, I mean, even if you have an okay coffee, if you have other things going on, then it's all right. For example, comfort. It's got to be comfortable. The new Starbucks layouts, the old Starbucks were great. They had these large, comfortable chairs. You can hang out and drink your coffee and, play with your phone, read a book, whatever. The new ones are these very heavy duty chairs. They're really high quality, but they're so uncomfortable. There's hardly any padding whatsoever. And there's this open concept now with hard floors, tile floors, and they're loud, they're busy, they're just not a place that I want to hang out anymore. I go there because it's a taste of home, and I actually like the little chicken Caesar wraps. They're really expensive, but they taste good. Get a cup of coffee, and I sit there for maybe 15 minutes, and then I just want to bail. I'm not a fan of the new Starbucks decors. Another thing, they have to have good connectivity. That's important if you're doing work. Location is important. You don't want some place that's too isolated that it doesn't get any foot traffic, and but you also don't want a place that is, in the center of everything. That's a hard thing to nail down. You need menu options more than just coffee. You need cakes and all that kind of stuff. Friendly staff, very important. I can't tell you how many coffee shops I've gone to where the staff is terrible, that I never want to go back to. And then I go to another one where the coffee is terrible, but the staff are so cool that I want to go back. Staff makes a huge deal. Noise reduction. We talked about the tile flooring. That's game over for me. If you have tile floors, it's just too noisy, and even if you put your headphones in, it's not worth it. And the last one is eye candy. You look around, see something you like, that makes the coffee taste better. Am I wrong? You all know what I mean on that one. All right, so I've got a couple things. If you're from Zhongshan and you have some suggestions, I'm going to put it out there on WeChat, of course. Pacific Coffee, Starbucks, of course, there's a million of them. Halo Cafe, which is a big thing here in Zhongshan. Luckin Coffee, which I'm not a fan of. Luckin Coffee tastes just like Starbucks. In fact, I think they have the same supplier. They come from Yunnan. But Luckin Coffee, you can't go into a Luckin Coffee and order at the counter. You have to order online. And I hate that. I hate not being able to just go in and choose from a menu. I hate having to use my phone. Coffeeing, and of course, Man Coffee I've talked about. There's another one here called Lemon Coffee that it'll be in a future vlog, actually. It's right down the street from me. They have a hot lemon coffee that is amazing. What's China like for homemade coffee? Do they have ground coffee to buy and machines? I'm a bit of a black coffee monster. I need my coffee in the morning. Yeah, the coffee culture here is still developing. It's maturing. It's coming into its own, really. There's a lot of new coffee shops. Mona and I went into a coffee shop over here. Coffee. There's coffee on the wall. Like pictures of coffee. They've got these coffee quotes, coffee a day, stuff like this. Yo meo cafe? No coffee. Milk tea. So I ordered a milk tea and a lemon tea. But the Starbucks coffee here downstairs opens at 8:30 in the morning. Luckin Coffee doesn't open till like 10. A lot of the coffee shops don't open till later. So that early morning cup of coffee, that early morning cup of joe from like a Dunkin' Donuts or even a Starbucks doesn't really exist, at least in my town. I'm still waiting for it. The best place to get a cup of coffee that early is, of course, Pizza Hut. I'm not joking. Pizza Hut. There's a Pizza Hut downtown that opens at like 7 a.m. I go there. I get, some scrambled eggs and a salad. They call it the American breakfast, but I don't know why. But they give you unlimited coffee, unlimited refills of coffee. Your choice, latte, Americano, whatever. And for 29 RMB. So it's cheaper than a Starbucks coffee, and it's unlimited, plus you get a breakfast at Pizza Hut. And the coffee is really good. It's Lorenzo's. It's fantastic. So that's my little tip for you. Yeah, who knew? Who knew? Pizza Hut. Not all of them. Many of the Pizza Huts don't open for lunch, but there are a few here and there that have a breakfast menu. And the one downtown here has a breakfast. The one downstairs from me is not open for breakfast. I have to go about 2 kilometers into the main part of the town, downtown, to get to that one. But they know me. I sit down, and not many people know that Pizza Hut serves breakfast, and so it's pretty quiet in there. They know what I like. They know exactly how I like my eggs, and how I like my ham. And sit down, I get my cup of coffee, and I'll have 2, sometimes 3 cups of coffee before I start my day there at Pizza Hut. Not every day, of course, but value for the money. That's the best breakfast in town. Uh, Without good feet, you'd be limp about, Rojo. I do start limping sometimes when the foot hurts. We talked about my CNY plan. We're thinking about going to Hainan. Uh, we'll see what happens. A lot can happen in the next couple weeks. I don't plan on leaving until February 1st. Um, just the way the schedule works out for me. I do plan on taking a lot of time off, doing a lot of vlogging, because over the last couple of months, I have just been swamped with work, and I haven't been able to do vlogging. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow is like a full day off. I'm going to stay at home. I'll talk about that right now. My car is in the shop. It's time. I bought my car almost 1 year ago next week. And so it's time for the annual inspection and the registration. I had never done this before. So the annual inspection, you take it in and they look it over. You have to have the little red triangle. I have a roof rack on mine. I had to take that off. Make sure all the lights are working, things like that. Get your little stickers. I didn't have time because I'm still so busy throughout the week teaching. So I took my car into the dealer and said, hey, would you mind doing this? So for a little bit of an extra fee, they will take my car. They took it on Friday down to the inspection place. They had it inspected, and they got my registration done. And while doing all this, you get an oil change and getting a new battery, new brake pads. So just general maintenance work on the car. They cost me total of 2,000 RMB for everything. That's the oil change, battery, brake pads, all the labor, and the registration, the annual inspection, and the extra fee I paid so some guy can do it for me. So 2,000 RMB, that's less than $300. That's insane. That's, I think, a great deal. So have it done once a year, and I'm very happy with that. But the mechanic scratched my car. Young kid driving erratically. I saw him driving other people's cars. And I'm like, that dude's going to be driving my car. And sure enough, they sent me a picture today. I'll show you. I was so upset. And my car's got scratches and all over it. But of course, scratches and dings that you do yourself, you can live with. But when someone else scratches your car, oh, I get angry. But so I was going to pick it up today, but they're going to hold on to it for an extra day and do a paint job on the bumper. Hopefully he does a good job with the paint job on them, of course. We'll find out. But yeah, if you know Winston from Serpent ZA, he does a lot of things about owning a car. He bought an old Cherry, or a new Cherry, but like one of the cheap Cherries, and he made a point, and it's a point that I think if you're looking at buying a car in China, do not buy an expensive new car in China. Just don't do it. You will cry. I would never forget his words when he said that, and he is absolutely right. The parking spaces here are very small. I have a small car. It's not a big car, but I have door dings all over it. And people just, it's, if you've got a black Mercedes or any kind of special car, you get a little ding in it after paying all that money for it, you're going to cry. So don't get an expensive car. I was teaching in Changsha in 2019 and had to return home after a few weeks due to the family emergency. Then COVID hit. I've applied to do a primary teaching license, but following that back to China. Yeah. So Changsha 2019. I thought about going to teach in Changsha at the university there. I really liked Changsha. I thought that the city was cool. I love Hunan food, but I liked that you had that mountain, Yuelu Mountain, right in the center of town, which was a wonderful place to go and for a walk, go for a jog, and the university is right there at the base. And of course, Yuelu Academy is there as well, which is this one of the ancient academies of China. A fascinating city, Changsha. And surrounding Changsha is some beautiful mountains. Hi, Mona. Someone scratched your car and ran away? Your new car? You know, there are cameras everywhere in China. Maybe we can find out who did it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, is there anything else? Oh, I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Term coming to an end. Did that? We watched Soul. Okay. Rojo Reads the News. My one of my Patreons asked me when Rojo Reads the News is coming back. I think Rojo Reads the News is going to come back this week. I've been saying that every week. But tomorrow I have some time. I've actually blocked out some time. I've organized the files to film it starting tomorrow. And over the course of the holiday, I will have lots of time to film and edit more Rojo Reads the News. I'm very excited because I love doing that stuff. And I know many of you like that too. So excited for that. New vlogs, the Walkabout of Shichi District. I've got the Lionsgate one coming out. Another China Randoms. Cheap Eats, not Cheap Eats, but Eating in Zhongshan Volume 5 coming out. Those are the ones I'm currently working on and editing. And I got another one on cheap hotels. I need to stay in one more cheap hotel chain. A lot of you said the hotel videos that I do are these fancy, very expensive hotels. And they are. And I get that. So you want more of an idea of what good quality, cheaper hotels are like, and I don't film them because there's not that much to film at these cheap hotels. You know, I stay at a lot of hotels, so put 3 or 4 of these cheap hotel chains that I'm not talking 7 days in. I'm talking good quality, affordable hotel chains that everyone can enjoy. I'm going to put them all together into a new series on cheap hotels. So that's coming out. I need to do one more stay, I think, at a hotel to round it out. A couple of other things. I've gotten involved in the Zhongshan Foreign Affairs Committee here. I'm the youngest guy in the area. I went to a meeting, and I got another meeting coming up soon. Of course, Chamber of Commerce meeting. I'm going to start doing some work for the Zhongshan Foreign Affairs Committee, which is a group of foreigners here in China that have an outlet and a way of talking to the local government about issues regarding the expat community, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and we're going to start producing some videos together with that as well. Thinking of, I'll talk about all those later. Okay. What else is out there? Changsha was really nice. The heat and humidity was hard for me, though, being English and used to cold and rain. You know, dude, I'm from LA, where it's hot. It's a dry heat. But here in Guangdong, 10 months out of the year, it's hot and humid. And I struggle with it, too, man. I really do. I'm struggling. I love the winter. I love cold, but it's really dry right now in the winter. And I can feel it on my skin. My skin, especially at night, is very itchy. And that's a new thing that I've been experiencing here in Guangdong over the last couple of years. Okay, let's do some. I don't want to stay out too late because I do want to sleep tonight, and I only have a little bit of beer. Let's do some news. I haven't read any of these, so we're gonna read them together. Okay. Flower markets have been canceled in some cities in Guangdong. If you don't know, Spring Festival is right around the corner, and the flower markets are a huge part of Spring Festival. They're beautiful. I mean, when you go to Guangzhou, you get on the subway, the whole subway smells like flowers. And you see these incredible bouquets. And just walking around the flower markets for a couple of hours, getting yourself a little mango or something is fun. It's very interesting. But because COVID is coming back. Spring Festival's around the corner. There's a tradition in Guangdong that people would like to visit flower fairs and buy flowers representing auspicious meanings to decorate their homes. However, due to the strict pandemic prevention and control measures, some big events have been officially canceled. There's a narrative out there that China believes that they beat COVID, and it's just not a thing here, and it's not reported on. That's not true. If you go to morning tea or you watch the news here, COVID is 24/7. I mean, it's everywhere. People are reporting on it. They're talking about it. There's 100 cases here. There's 50 cases here. Most of it in the north. Lockdowns. You got 100 cases in a city of 7 million people. They lock the whole city down. They test everybody. 6 million tests in a couple days. They're on it. They're on it. They're not hiding it. They're not sweeping it under the rug. They're on it. They're reporting it, and everyone's very aware of what's going on. Even here in Zhongshan, there are no cases, but everywhere you go, you have to wear a mask, and you have to show your little QR code, and they're very, very strict on certain things. Life is not back to normal here. I don't think anyone's claimed that life is back to normal. Yes, if things are better, we can go out to dinner, we can go to a movie. And I know you can't do that in America or even England. You can go have a beer. But to get into the bar, you have to show QR codes. You know, when you get into a taxi, you have to wear a mask. To get into a mall, you have to have your temperature taken, QR code, mask, the works. Just to go into McDonald's. So, yeah, they're on it, guys. They really are. Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Qingyuan, Yingde, Fogan, Sihui, Taishan, and Enping announced this week that the respective multiple or municipal level Spring Festival flower markets in 2021 will be canceled. Well, Duanzhou, I don't know where that is, Gaiyou districts of Jiaoqing, Chengchen district of Foshan also issued similar notices. I've stayed in the Chongchen district with my Swiss hotel video. Citizens in Shenzhen can buy flowers from individual merchants or temporary flower stalls on every street of the city. People can still buy flowers through online platforms or online flower stores. 1-800-Flowers. I think that's what it was, right? I don't care if certain YouTubers call me a shill. You can call me whatever you want. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm not necessarily working for... I work at a university. I work for the government. I know people in the government. I have friends in the government. I work with them every day. I see them. I come in contact with government workers on a daily basis. The narrative that's out there by some YouTubers, it doesn't match what I experience on a daily basis. So I don't want to comment on that too much because it's kind of lame. It's just so hyperbolic. It's not even worth mentioning that much. But there's nothing wrong with being on the Zhongshan Foreign Affairs Council with all the other expats. It's a community of expats, and it's an outlet to the local government. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily working for the government in that capacity. No, I'm just on a advisory council full of other expats, and we voice our concerns and our issues and are involved in the local community. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I'm very proud that I get to be part of that because these are a great bunch of guys and girls, and it's a wonderful program. And Zhongshan is my city is a very foreigner-friendly city, and that's my feeling here. It might not be that way in other parts of China. Fine, I'm not there. I'm here, so I tell you my life, my truth, my experience. So, okay, let's do the next one. All right, lazy workers fined for using lavatory more than once a day. This has been a couple of things. A company in Guangdong province started fining workers 20 yuan, or $3, for using the lavatory more than once a day, claiming it was to counter laziness at work. While some internet users supported the company's decision, many more lambasted it for exploiting staff. The local government said the fines were illegal. See? Yeah, illegal. Interesting, right? Yeah, I think there was another story. I found it somewhere where they had like these seats, these pressure seats at your desk. and they monitored how much time you're spending in your seats electronically. That's going a little far too. There's been a lot of work. I have more stories about the 996. There was like a worker that died due to overwork. You know, the 996 culture that doesn't exist really in here in Zhongshan. I know it exists in some of the more competitive cities in China, in Shanghai and Shenzhen. But here in Zhongshan, it's still rather laid back. You know, everyone still takes a 2-hour lunch and slower pace of life here. It's one of the reasons why I like the city so much. Okay, let's see what else we got. It's almost like a bad thing to some people if you want to make your life in China as comfortable as your voice heard. It's just a different worldview. I get it. I'll talk about this. The events back in America this week with the riots at the Capitol, which I watched the highlights of course, I was asleep when it happened, but I woke up to all this craziness going on, and I have my own opinions about it that I think was disgusting. It was horrible. I'm a tried and true American, and to see those images of what happened was heartbreaking and embarrassing, and I am upset with individuals in the government that incited this, and I do think there should be replication. What is the word? Heads should roll. And you all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into the politics. But what I will say is that there's another American here, a friend of mine, that is on the other spectrum when it comes to politics than me. Everyone knows where I stand on this stuff. He's on the other side. And as Americans, we can have spirited debates, respectful. We laugh, we joke. You know, I can call him batshit crazy. He can call me just, nuts and asleep at the wheel or whatever. But we can do it, and we can show evidence, and we can talk about it. We can debate, and I absolutely love that. I love it, even though I do think he's batshit crazy. I'm sure he thinks the same thing about me. That's the beauty of democracy. That's the beauty of being Americans. We can do it. We can have disagreements, but we can do it amicably. We don't have to resort to violence. And that's the thing that's bothered me a lot this week. I think most Americans can agree with that sentiment. Repercussions. Thank you, Gene. I don't know why. My brain fart. All right, let's go back to this, because I know you guys don't like me talking about politics. Even though as an American, I won't talk about Chinese politics because I can't. I'm not allowed to. I don't have freedom of speech in China. Everyone knows that. There's no secret. It's not my place. I'm a guest here. So it's not really my thing. But I'm an American. I can talk about American politics because it's not only my right, it's my responsibility, as it is everyone else. And to debate these things is fun amongst our friends. Here on this channel, I know you guys don't like it, so I won't go into it. Okay. It seems you can't get married without some talent these days. This comes from GIC Expat. The reason you didn't hold a wedding party before might be because you didn't have your significant other to marry. Now the reason may be a lack of talent. Did you guys wedding day for the purpose of having an exclusive concert? Some brides and grooms sing well. Some play the piano. This is true. I've been to a few weddings here, and even back home they do this. They do like some kind of dance show or something, and I love it. I think it's a really cool thing, and but it's becoming really, really popular here to show off your talent at these extravagant weddings. Some dance well. Yeah, I know there's probably no strange thing to Western weddings, but yeah, so. First wild panda captured by camera in this area. This is awesome. A wild adult giant panda was found in the protected area in the Fushuo village, Pingwu County, southwest China, Sichuan province. According to Publicity Department of the Communist Party of China, Pingwu County Committee Red Star News reported on January 2nd. Captured by an infrared camera positioned in the protected area of the Fushuo village, it is the first giant panda discovered in the area so far, the Publicity Department said on January 2nd. Look at that. I love this stuff. You always see this stuff in LA with like things like mountain lions and things like that. Makes you. I used to go hiking and trail running in the mountains near Los Angeles, and I know there are coyotes there. I know there are mountain lions in those, and I just ignored that, and I would just go running alone for sometimes hours in those mountains. There was one time where I got scared. Yeah, I would often run into little foxes. I would run into coyotes all the time, all different types of animals. Never saw a mountain lion. But I remember I watched a movie. It was a I want to say Liam Neeson movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a very famous one where they crash in the Arctic and they're being hunted by wolves, and he breaks glasses and he puts the glass, bottles and, in his knuckles ready to fight off the wolves. That movie scared the hell. I watched that movie, and the next day I went trail running at the, where was I? Somewhere near Saddleback Mountain in Orange County. And I remember still having that movie in my head, feeling scared that somewhere out there are wild mountain lions, and I'm all alone, and if I'm running, I am prey. They're going to come and eat me. It was in the back of my mind. It actually scared me, and I stopped running. I went back to my car, and I had to, relax a little bit. The Gray, that was the one. Yes, thank you. Oh, great movie, wonderful movie. But, man, don't watch that and then go hiking in the mountains alone the next day. Don't do it. Hello from Malaysia. I never can pronounce that name. Johor Bahru City. I know where it is. It's just the pronunciation. I can never do it. It's supposed to be really beautiful there. I'd love to go. Did you bought any weapons? No. When I go hiking with my pack and I'm camping, yes, I'll bring a knife. I don't carry guns or anything. But when I was trail running, this is a time when I was really into barefoot running and minimalist running. I would literally go with a pair of shorts and my water bottle and my earphones and nothing else. No t-shirt. I would go barefoot running. I wouldn't have any kind of hiking because all that is weight. And I would literally run up to the peak of a mountain. And all these other guys, they have jackets and they've got the walking sticks and they've got the packs. And I would just run right by them because I didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't have any weight. So it was very easy for me to just go right by. And because I was running, I didn't have to take any food with me because I got to the peak faster than them. And then I see the peak. Okay, cool. And then I'd run back down. And a couple hours later, I was at Carl's Jr. getting a hamburger. So I didn't have anything during these times when I was running. And that was awesome. I miss those days. With my foot problem, I can't do that. I miss it. Yeah, don't watch those videos on YouTube, dude, about those runners and hikers getting, stalked by mountain lions. I've seen those too. Don't watch those if you... I mean, the possibility of that happening to you is pretty rare. But don't watch them if that's what you're going to do. That's like reading and watching a bunch of divorce horror stories right the night before you get married. Don't do it. Snarky, do you know what Carl's Jr. is, man? Welcome to the stream, Snark. Do you go camping in China? Yes, I've gone camping in China a couple times. I'm still learning it. The rules here are a little bit different. The culture here is so much different. It's a little bit more of the Wild West as far as camping goes. But finding true nature to do it where I'm at in the Pearl River Delta, because this is just a massive urban area. Trying to find true camping here is tough. But Mona and I have been... got a laundry list of things we want to do, and that's one of them, camping in certain areas. And when we go to Hainan, if we do go to Hainan, we're going to do some camping there as well. Dude, Carl's. Okay, so I thought Carl's Jr. was only like a West Coast America thing, and then like in the middle America, it's called Hardee's. But, man, Carl's Jr.'s $6 burger. Okay, now I'm getting hungry. I heard that you had a Carl's Jr. in Shanghai. Someone told me there was a Carl's Jr. in Guangzhou. I looked everywhere for it. It wasn't there. But and I put it into Apple Maps, and it popped up in Shanghai. Damn you, damn you. You know, you made me jealous that one night when you had Taco Bell and you ate it all, you bastard. And now you're gonna go do the same thing with Carl's Jr. now. I wonder if you can get Meituan to deliver it. Burgers made famous by Paris Hilton. I do remember those. Stealth camping, yeah, stealth camping. That's something that I would love to get involved in. One of the dreams I have, of course, is to, do like the van life thing. That's a big thing in Western United States, van life vloggers. I would love to be one of those guys here in China and just van life stealth camp. It would be awesome, but I have to work. I need money. So, all right. I have made some videos about camping. I'm making more. So be on the lookout. Hiking, camping, more camping coming up. More camping coming up in the new year. All right, let's move on. Okay. TikToker sparks outrage telling men to go to Asia to get women. A TikTok user who goes by the username Citizen Attorney 1 is currently under fire after advising men who can't find a wife in America to go to Asia. The unidentified man, who appears to no longer active on TikTok, described Asian women in America as not cool and not nice. Interesting. I think some of the comments is what I wanted to read on this. So why are men like this allowed to breed? I'm sure the gene pool would do just fine without them. I've been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding. This man is sorely mistaken. I can be a sweet little Asian, but if people like him piss me off, I'm a Taurus first, and I'll happily show him my horns. Great. These are some of the funny comments. That video made me sick to watch, but I have enjoyed watching all the badass Asian women coming out to put that trash in his place. Sure. I'll agree with it. Definitely. Maybe he wouldn't have to fly halfway across the world to have sex. No doubt with a woman from a village that sees the only way out of her poverty is to sell her body. Apparently, toupees like this still exist as well. We just have to continue to call them out while waiting for them to die off because they are not likely to evolve into a higher realm of consciousness or decency. Well said, Edward. Well said. I just have no words. I made this mistake of looking at his other TikTok vids. Vile excuse for a human. I almost dated a military guy like this a few years ago. What's wrong with military guys? I'm a military guy. There's nothing wrong with that. Already a shortage of women in Asia. In China, there's definitely a shortage of women in China. Everyone knows about the gender imbalance here. I've done stories about that in the past. I can get Carl's Jr. delivered to my apartment in under 30 minutes, but that $6 burger will cost you 38 kwai. Oh, that's 38 kwai. Dude, it's the $6 burger from Carl's Jr. If it's 138 kwai, I'll pay it. It's too bad they can't get it delivered all the way down here to southern China for me, right? How apropos the next story, right? Oh, man. Over half of Chinese population is now overweight. Of course, the stereotype is that Chinese people are very skinny, right? They're small, short, and very, very skinny. And, yeah, you do see, very petite women and very slender men everywhere. You do see that, of course. But you also see very overweight people. I mean, not to the extent as America. I mean, you go to America, the first thing that hits you, smacks you in the face when you get off the airplane and go through immigration, you walk outside a cab, is just how fat everybody is. I mean, the Disneyland, you go to Disneyland in Shanghai, it's families, it's wonderful, it's great. You go, then a week later, I was in Anaheim Disneyland, and everyone is fat. I mean, so fat that they have to have these little carts to roll them around like they did in that movie, that WALL-E movie, right? That's literally what they're doing. And they have attitudes. These really, really overweight people in these little carts, get out of my way, I'm handicapped. They have this attitude like, if you get in their way, they just look at you dirty. And I'm not a skinny guy. I'm got fat on me as well. So, but my God, it definitely slaps you in the face. and the attitude that comes with it was just terrible. Here in China, I do see a lot, especially the younger generation, because they are eating a lot more fast food. I mean, McDonald's is everywhere here. Malaysia too, so it's happening there as well. Okay, but yeah, I think you're going to find, especially this happens in most countries that become wealthy. They start this trend of eating, and China's no different, I don't think. Students in China are now required to run. Yes, that's really good. In addition to academic achievement and academic performance, they're also going to be tested on their health. That's a great thing, because I know the government here is very aware of this. A report released on December 23rd by China's National Health Commission has suggested that just over half the country's adults are overweight. Half. This compared to research carried out in 2002, which showed that 23% of adults were overweight and 17% were obese. Those figures are now 34% and 16%, respectively. The report studied 600 million people across 31 provincial-level regions between 2015 and 2019. The alarming figures have been linked to an increase in chronic disease. Experts have blamed a number of factors, including an increase in people's eating out at restaurants where excess oil and salt is used, as well as poor diet and lack of exercise. The report has prompted the Commission to plan a national nutrition plan along with programs to help curb obesity in children. Yeah, I see it firsthand. I know exactly what this is. I struggle with this too. I love Chinese food. I love going out to eat. And when I go out to eat, even when I ordered the Meituan over the last week, I've been eating a lot. And the food is good. The food is salty. But more than that, when you go out to a restaurant here, it's swimming in oil. At least here in Guangdong. I don't know what it's like in the other parts of China, but it's literally, you order a bowl of vegetables and it's drowning in cooking oil. I mean, it's like a soup. And you tell them, please, no oil. And they look at you like, what? What do you mean no oil? You have to have oil. You have to have oil to cook the vegetables. And you say, okay, a little oil. They say, okay, fine, little oil. And they come back and it's a soup. I mean, the top layer is oily. You eat that, but then you get a couple bites in and you're literally drinking oil soup in the vegetables. It's really hard to find healthy foods. Salad places have become more popular these days, but man, that oil is a problem. There's a snarky. There's a shortage of women in China. I know my woman is short. You know what? My woman is short too, man. She's a cutie little shorty. I don't know if the food or because they just sit around playing video. That's also an issue, Gene, is that, yes, and it's mostly boys, but I also see girls do it too. You go to you go to Starbucks. I've talked about this in the past. If you go to a Starbucks or, I don't know, anywhere where there's free Wi-Fi, McDonald's is another place you see this, and there'll be a group of middle schoolers or high schoolers all sitting around playing video games. Everyone is playing these phone games. I mean, when I was a kid, I played video games too. I had a little 8-bit Nintendo, and I was slightly addicted to it. I fully admit that. My parents can attest to that. But I think this is kind of ridiculous because I see grown men in their 40s playing video games as they walk through the mall. And then you go into the restroom, and they'll be standing at the urinal playing a video game with one hand while they hold their thing in the other. They can't put it down for 2 seconds. It's an addiction. Video games. Okay. China's box office starts the new year with record opening. I went and saw Wonder Woman. With movie theaters mostly closed across the globe, China has become the world's biggest box office for the first time in 2020. China's film industry kicked off the new year with a new domestic record after leading global box office earnings in 2020. The New Year's Day box office ranked in about 600 million yuan, or 92.8 million in revenue, breaking its previous record set in 2018, according to official figures. Domestic releases include A Little Red Flower and Warm Hug. Both premiered on December 31st, drove ticket sales during the 3-day holiday. There's another one. It's a Hong Kong movie, Shockwave 2, with Andy Lau. I've been wanting to see this flick. That's also a very popular flick here. China's movie theaters reopened to audience in late July after being shut for 6 months due to the coronavirus. As the year drew to a close, domestic productions were among the top 10 box office winners, with War Epic The 800, which was really good, leading the charge with more than 3.1 billion yuan box office revenue. Wow, that's huge. Last year, as most movie theaters worldwide were closed, China also overtook North America as the world's biggest box office market for the first time. According to the National Film Bureau, the Chinese film industry amassed 20.4 billion yuan revenue in 2020. We're seeing people's consumption habits trending towards domestic-made movies, while the overall quality of the country's movies has improved compared to previous years. That is also true. Chinese movies, I enjoy Chinese movies. Even the ones I don't fully understand, some of them are really well made. The data from the beginning of the year presents a very good signal. We believe this is a positive trend for this year's overall box office in the pandemic. The biggest external factor is controlled well. Apart from the domestic offerings, Disney's animated movie Soul has also won over audiences in China, receiving a score of 8.9 out of 10 on review site Daoban. Released on December 25th, the movie has so far made 173 million yuan from ticket sales, according to ticket platform Maoyan. I just watched Soul tonight. Good movie. It wasn't as good as Inside Out. I thought Inside Out, it kind of has similar parallels, I guess. I really enjoyed Inside Out, but Soul, Pixar brought it again. They're just original ideas that they come up with. Fantastic. Okay. One more. Okay, what's this? 2 AI robots working in a Chinese library bicker in the lobby. Man, I wish I had video of this. Is there video of it? No, there's no video of it. But I saw this and I was like, 2 robots have amassed throngs of fans in China after appearing to bicker at each other like a couple in a trending video. Has anyone seen this video? I haven't seen it yet. The pair of talking androids were caught on camera quarreling in a library lobby while working in the facility as high-tech guides. The argument grew heated up when one accused the other of having a bad temper, leading the other to put forward the same accusation. That's what we've come to, guys. Snarky says, the little emperor syndrome is part to blame as well. Grandparents were literally shoving food into these little kids not fat enough to be carved up as a turkey dinner. If you don't know what the little emperor syndrome is, the little emperor syndrome is the one byproduct of the one-child policy. You have one child, and there is a preference for boys. And if you have a boy, then the parents go to work, and the grandparents raise the children. And they're retired, so they just feed them constantly and tell them how wonderful they are. Don't discipline them. So the little emperor is not just young Chinese boys who are fat and overfed. They're also quite spoiled by the families. So that's what the little emperor syndrome that he's referring to is. Is it possible that it could be live streams outside boost viewer numbers? Is it possible you could do live streams outside to boost viewer numbers? That's not a bad idea. I thought about doing like a live stream as I walk through the town. I've seen other YouTubers do it. I've never done it. I could do it. I don't see why not. I've done them from hotels before. I would have to do it with my phone. And I know I can do it with my iPhone. I can just do a little live stream. The quality will be terrible, but the other thing I can probably do is I can, if I get a good enough signal, I just go down Dapaidong and set up the camera and the computer there. I've never tried to do it, but I guess I could do it. Maybe one day I'll do it. Okay. That being said, I have been live streaming. How long have I been on now? I have no idea. Oh, an hour and 20 minutes. It's been a long time. It is now almost 11 o'clock here in Zhongshan, China, so it's about time for me to call it a night. Another great live stream. Thank you all for joining me. If you're watching it after the fact, I would like to do more in the mornings. Now that the term is ending, I will have my mornings free so I can capture some of you guys. Other than morning time in America, maybe we can do some morning time here in China, which is nighttime for you guys out there. I would love to do that, especially since my family can watch, because it's still really early in the morning in California right now. My thoughts go out to all those who are struggling with COVID all throughout the world. I have personal friends who are struggling with this, and I think about them every day. If you'd like to support my channel, you can hit the link below. Go to fcustom.com. You can get customized jerseys like this, and hit the link below and use the coupon code WalkaboutRojo for an additional 10% off your purchase. I will do more Rojo Reads the News starting tomorrow. Yes, I'm very excited for it. I got it all ready to go. So I'm going to start filming it, and they're coming out. In the meantime, yeah, thank you all for joining me, and we'll see